Ever since I was a little kid, skaters have fascinated me. I always wanted to learn how to do all of the cool tricks on quad skates, and I was in complete awe of how graceful and athletic figure skaters were, especially when they were doing all of the spins. But unfortunately, I never had the opportunity to learn any of it. Until now. Hello, lovely humans, and welcome back. For those of you that are new here, just know that I am on a journey or adventure or something like that to get healthy both mentally and physically. If this is your second time seeing my channel and you haven't subscribed yet, you know how to fix that. I would love that.
Yes, you're the best.
On the topic of skating that we are addressing today, I have always wanted to learn how to both roller skate and ice skate, but it's so easy to come up with all of the excuses for why not to. I was concerned that I was too old or too heavy to be able to even learn something new, let alone do it safely. And it's really, really easy to let all of that doubt, that little voice inside your head, dissuade you from doing something that you've always wanted to do. So I'm here to tell you not to listen to it and try the thing, just do it safely.
So let's do this thing!
Prior to all of the stuff in this video, I had been skating all of 2 times in my entire life. Once in 5th grade, they tried to teach us how to roller skate. It was disastrous. I was terrified. I thought I was going to die and gave up very quickly. The second time was ice skating in the Galleria, and I don't know that I actually went on the ice so much as watched other people fall down on the ice. So my experience was pretty limited. This whole bout of shenanigans was brought to me by my husband Hobby because he decided that he wanted to pick up skating again. He did it as a kid, he loved it, and he wanted an activity that he could do as an adult that would keep him active. Once he got started again, he fell in love with it all over again, and it was so excited to see him get so excited about his new hobby. The only downside is he had no one to skate with. Enter me.
Yeah, baby.
I wanted to be able to do the activity with my husband that brought him so much joy, even though I was terrified I was gonna get injured. So I decided to go with him to the roller rink for the first time. He started me out on the carpet and kind of taught me the basics, and then I gradually moved on to the wood floors of the rink. It was terrifying, but we had a wonderful time.
Not gonna lie, my form when I first started doing this was absolutely atrocious. I was bent like halfway over because I was terrified I was gonna fall. I was clinging to the wall. My knees were super bent, and I basically was taking itty bitty baby steps. And every time it felt like the wheels would start to move, I was petrified. It was such a good workout, and I think part of that was just because all of my muscles in my body were tense the entire time. It was really enjoyable though. We honestly had so much fun doing this, even though it was exhausting. Javi also got to try out quad skates for the first time because he's normally in his rollerblades. But honestly, the best part about all of this is that I got to have some quality time with my husband, doing something that didn't involve sitting on the couch and watching a TV show.
Once I had actually gone with him a few times, I started to really enjoy it myself, even though I was absolutely terrible and constantly terrified that I was gonna fall. There was no skill involved at this point.
You're really bad at this.
But I did eventually get my own skates because I really wanted to get better at it so I could actually start to learn all the different tricks with quad skates.
If you guys do decide that you want to start skating, please make sure to get equipment. It is hard to find protection in the right sizes if you have large legs. It's something I definitely struggled with. I feel like all of the knee pads I tried only went up to my ankles, and it was a nightmare. But I did eventually find knee pads, elbow pads, wrist guards, and a helmet, and I promise you, you guys do need that.
Once I had my own skates, we started skating every few nights in our house, just around in a circle from our living room and our hallway. I was definitely struggling to not constantly feel like I was about to fall, but I was proud of myself for trying to get better at it. There was a lot more of clomping around on wheels than there was gliding or pushing off at first.
I also was so excited to show off these new skates. I am absolutely freaking obsessed. They're gorgeous. Let me just tell y'all, anyone who says that sweating is not good exercise is freaking lying. Like, there is a bead of sweat dripping down my face. Gym cardio doesn't usually even do that to me. Holy cow, I only did like, I don't know, maybe 10 circles around my house. Admittedly, I tied my shoes too tight because my toes are numb, but I am exhausted. So, yay cardio!
We even got to have our friend Kelsey come over to come skating with us one night. She is chaos on wheels, but it's actually pretty impressive because she still stays upright and makes it happen. Also, ignore the messy house. We were too busy skating to want to clean that night.
Oh, I just got boobs.
Oh God. Ah! Okay, skating backwards and filming is kind of difficult.
Because I was so concerned about falling, I did make sure that I was fully geared up even when I was skating in the house. And I actually invested in a pair of tortoise pads, which are basically like padded shorts that help to cushion your fall if you fall. I have never been so grateful for a piece of equipment, even if it made me look like SpongeBob SquareHips, because my hips were humongous in these things.
There's the threshold. The threshold.
Good job.
How do you feel about all of this? Is it silly to watch them?
You're about to take me out. And then disaster struck.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh my
But
well, you're still on video.
I had been getting more confident going around my living room. There's a little threshold in between my living room and my dining room, and it's slightly uneven, so I've been practicing trying to go over it smoothly. I got a wee bit too confident and paid the price.
The turtle pad help?
I don't know. Give me a second to see if my tailbone is in my throat.
Oh.
There really are not enough words for how grateful I am to those tortoise pads. I actually straight up went into Amazon and wrote them a fabulous review because they saved my tailbone.
First time on film.
Was it on film?
I mean, I got the audio,
My ass.
and then I came around the corner to
I
this.
was good, and then I was down. Yeah, turtle pads helped a little bit because I'm pretty sure my tailbone would be fractured right now otherwise because I felt
Very
hard. Oh. Ouch.
All right.
That's going to be a little bit worse tomorrow. Glad I decided to borrow your turtle pads. Get those in padding. Rather than just winging it, because, dude, I would have been in the hospital. Like, I felt hard. This is why I still wear my pads in the house.
I was honestly just really freaking proud of myself for even being able to drag myself back off of the ground and getting back on 2 feet. Because, oh my gosh, it was hard.
You got it.
I'm alive.
Anything to say to your viewers?
I don't care how expensive those tortoise pads are, freaking buy them. Oh my God.
When you're skating around the rink, sometimes it almost feels like there's some peer pressure to not have any sort of equipment on because no one else does for the most part. But I really want to try to be safe, so I wore those tortoise pads every time we went, especially because I am not a tiny woman. I am well over 200 pounds. I would love to say I'm under, but that is not the case. And if I fall hard. So it's really good and really important to have that protection. If you want to try something new, especially if it's a sport, please do not be scared to wear whatever equipment you need to feel and to be safe. It is really important.
Ah, 2 of us. Looking cute. Looking cute.
My head is like curls.
To be fair, we have been skating for like 40 minutes in the house, and I came from the gym.
You almost took my trash can out.
I did almost take your trash can out. We can go fast right here.
Okay, I think I need to know my limits and actually stop. We are going to practice sitting.
I decided to take a rest break because once I start getting that tired, I know that if I keep pushing myself past that point, I'm going to fall. Again. So that meant that Kelsey and Hobby got to zip all the way around the house without my slow self holding them up.
Nice. All right, Kelsey, you got any more tricks? Since you've been showing off all night.
There is. Spin around. Then you jump up on your toes.
Ah!
Fall over the
Almost
couch.
ate it.
Like on the couch. It's a professional move.
They were also trying to learn a move called shoot the duck, which is basically like a gliding version of a pistol squat on wheels.
Oh shit.
That looks scary.
That,
yeah.
I don't know if I can do that one.
You got lighter.
already-
Excuses. Not bad. Get a
You're
little
supposed
squat.
to lean down?
You're supposed to
You're
squat
supposed
like
to-
on the ground, basically.
Go on, go on.
Pistol squat.
It's about as good as you're gonna get.
1 month into roller skating, I decided that if I was going to try this big new scary thing, I should really go for the big scary thing that I've been wanting to do since I was a kid. ice skating. So we signed up for lessons every Sunday. It was a 30-minute session.
And a huge shout out to my friend Rachel for continuing the tradition of taking selfies on my phone and for being willing to film my first practice session on the ice.
How are you feeling?
Worried about my tailbone.
With both ice skating and skating on my quad skates, I really started small. My first goal was just to make it around the entire rink because I was terrified.
Y'all, let these videos be a shining example of why it is so important to take pictures and videos of the before, during, and after on your weight loss journeys or on your basically adventures to get stronger in a sport. When I look at these, it's night and day difference. Just going across that little open space initially was terrifying for me, and I almost fell afterwards. I remember thinking as I was going through this part, right as I started moving, that I was going so fast. And now I'm looking back on it, and I was going so slowly that I was basically holding up all of the poor little kids behind me because I was moving at the speed of snail. I was trying so hard to get to the point where I didn't feel like every move was jolty. And I gotta say, these little brave children behind me right here, they finally decided to try to go around me because they are little brave souls, unlike me, who was not ready to let go of the rail. Look at them go. I'm so proud. I was also struggling a lot with the rental shoes because they're not very supportive, and I was constantly looking at my feet instead of ahead of me.
Say hi!
After that, I wanted to gradually start pulling away from the rail. I was so excited when I finally made it around for the first time without having a death grip on that rail, even if I still had to hover close.
Let me tell you, if y'all want to get some cardio, go ice skating. It wore us out after every single practice session. I did continue to wear the tortoise pads every single time I went ice skating. It cracked me up to no end because it made my waist look tiny and my hips were so big. It was obscene and I kept bumping into things. You can just call me Heather Kardashian. Except for instead of a banging booty, it makes me look a little bit more like I have a diaper booty. But whatever, we made it work and it kept me protected. Also, I finally got my own skates and it made a huge difference. Javi and I have already figured out over the last few years that we have really enjoyed hiking together, but it's been really nice to be able to add roller skating and ice skating to that list. I'm just curious, for those of you guys that like to go out and do very physically demanding activities with either your friends or your spouses, what do you guys like to do? Comment below.
We eventually started to realize that with ice skating, especially with how new I was to it, 30 minutes a week was not enough time to practice, so we started trying to go at least 2 to 3 times a week. When we went skating and took our lessons, we were practicing at the Galleria Mall. There's 4 stories of people that can look down on you and see you skating, and it was really nerve-wracking to me. I think it's really easy as a large person to kind of get in your own head because there's that stereotype of basically big people being uncoordinated and kind of gross.
Mother of God!
And I was kind of self-conscious at first that people were just going to be like, who's this fat tub of lard trying to go ice skating?
Ew.
And then I was just like, who cares? I'm gonna be round and I'm gonna do the dang thing. But I did want to get better at it so I could at least feel like I was large and graceful versus large and falling down all the time.
Getting my own ice skates instead of dealing with the rentals made a huge difference. I felt so much more stable on my feet and much more supported, even though mine were just a basic Facebook Marketplace special. I finally was off the rails and I was so freaking proud of myself. The hard part for me was getting used to actually pushing off with each foot without feeling like I was going to go crashing to the ground. But as I got better at it, I got a little bit faster with my skating and just started to completely fall in love with it. It was so much fun.
Thank you.
How's the ice?
I would say hot and cold all in one.
That face right there, that face is me finally finding the joy in skating, getting out of my own head, and just realizing how much I love doing it and getting to celebrate the little wins. All the little steps I made for progress made me so excited. We made sure to go back every now and then to the roller rink and get some extra practice, and it was kind of funny because I found out that my close circle of friends all knows how to skate and actually enjoys it, which is something I had no idea about before. So now we all have a new hobby that we can do together, and it's super fun. Although they're considerably better skaters than me or Hobby. We were all so freaking sore after the skate date though, because we are also over 30 and stretching is really important. So I was noticing in my lessons every Sunday that there was one specific thing that I was really struggling with, and that was getting my 1 foot glide down. So I decided that instead of just practicing skating around or trying to do all the different little things that we did in class, I wanted to spend a lot of my sessions just focusing on getting better at that 1-footed glide. And then disaster struck. Again.
It's no secret that this year is a hot mess. It is honestly giving 2020 a run for like worst year ever. I have had so much illness and just random injuries. It has just got me at my like, I've had it point. I've literally had like 10 different things wrong with my foot. Right now I'm supposed to be in a walking boot because my plantar fasciitis has gotten so bad. I'm in physical therapy for that. And I've had shingles twice. Like, who even gets shingles this age? What the heck? And we have now added a brand new injury to the list. Hello there. That's right, I have a broken wrist. And it's my own fault, like 100%. So as you guys know, I have been learning how to ice skate, and I am large and not at all in charge of my balance skills because it's just rough. One of the first things that they taught us whenever we were taking lessons is basically how to fall. The biggest thing that people injure when they fall is something in like their hand and wrist because they're, falling on an outstretched hand or an outstretched arm because your reflex is like, oh, I'm about to eat it. I should catch myself.
Wrong, 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 wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong.
And that's exactly what I did, even though I knew better. Because in ice skating, it's essentially like you bend your knees, you put your hands on your knees, and if you're going down, you fall on like your hip or your butt. And I did not do that. So I went down on my wrist. I did not get that on camera because, I was busy trying to stay up and did not succeed. So I've been really frustrated and I've just been feeling really disheartened and like a failure because in my head, I just knew that I was like, I want to be this, graceful ice skater in spite of being a big girl. Like it's hard enough being fat and having everything, be a little bit more difficult. And obviously, yes, I'm still working to get to a healthier weight, but I don't want to wait until I'm healthy just to be able to do the things that I want to do. And one of the things that really, I guess, in my head brought me joy was if, even though I was big, I could still be graceful and like glide on the ice. But obviously it takes a while to get to actually being good at a sport. And I feel like I'm making extremely slow progress. So I've just been really hard on myself and like really disheartened. And then when you add in this lovely injury, which makes everything so much harder, it's just really frustrating. But I'm not stopping. I'm just struggling a little bit with getting in my own head. If y'all ever had that happen? Like you're just busting your butt so hard to accomplish something or to do something and it feels like you're just not getting it. Like that's kind of where I am right now. So I know that if I keep trying, I will eventually get there. Like any skill, you have to actually learn it. I'm not going to learn it in 5 minutes. So I'm trying to get out of my own head and just suck it up. I am proud of myself because even after I busted my butt and my wrist, I did get back out on the ice for at least a couple more rounds after that, even though my wrist was killing me. I got an x-ray the next day, so I'm waiting to see a specialist right now. But I'm proud of myself for getting back out there because I knew that I was getting in my own head. And I was like, I'm either going to sit here in a corner and cry about it, or I'm going to maybe cry about it later, but I'm still going to get out there and do a thing. And that's exactly what I did. Fingers crossed that it will just heal quickly and I will learn to suck less at ice skating and not get in my own head. I don't know. If you guys have any solutions for how the frick to get out of your own head when you are just like fixating on something, I would love to hear it because fixating's going strong. Yeah. Fun times. I did try to focus on having a better attitude throughout the upcoming week. Ultimately, I did get back out on the ice, bandaged this time. It's still one of my happy places, especially because it's with my husband. And they eventually got me a better brace at the specialists, so I actually did feel protected while I was out there. But I tried to make sure I was resting both my wrist and my foot while I was at home, which the cats thoroughly enjoyed.
See how well this goes. I'm at the end and I'm tired.
So I did realize something as I was focused on practicing my 1-foot glides. Yes, they're still terrible. They mostly look more like a stomp than a glide, but it took the pressure off for some of the other things we did in class, like swizzles, which is what I'm doing here. Basically, it's kind of like making a figure eight, sort of, with your legs. Initially, it was so freaking hard, but I started doing them just as I was coming around the rink, getting ready for the single leg glide, and it kind of took the pressure off. I found that I actually really enjoyed them when initially I hated them. My dips are also not bad here. I'm getting a little bit lower, but I was still struggling to get my legs close enough together. You know, big girl problems. As you can see, my backward skating still leaves quite a bit to be desired. One thing that did get a little bit easier though, especially as I practiced my swizzles, was doing the, I believe it's called rocking horses back and forth. Initially, this was something that I really struggled to get my legs to the right angle at, but now I'm getting better.
As I got more practice on the ice, I did notice that I was getting a little bit better about not just having my ankles completely caved in as I got more comfortable being upright on the shoes, but I do still have a long way to go. My other goal was to be able to just step out onto the ice and kind of just glide out there rather than having to have a death grip on the rail every time I tried to get out.
I did also finally start making some progress with my 1-foot glides. I was able to get my blade off the ice ever so slightly, and every time, without fail, that I did it, someone would skate right in front of the camera. But progress is progress, even if it's not 100% on film.
One of the things that I really love about the skating community, whether that be in a roller rink or on the ice, is that they are all so supportive. Every single time we've been, there are so many people that are cheering you on and excited, especially when they get to see you regularly. They're like, oh my gosh, we're so happy you're back. You know, what are you working on today? They just really want to encourage you. And it's a community that I was not expecting to find, but I'm very, very grateful that we have.
Hobby's 1-foot glides are also improving in height. He's just still working on the balance part.
Hey, that wasn't bad. Dude, that was a good one. Okay, that was good. That was like my longest one yet.
We also got soft covers for our skates, and I figure if you're large and in charge, you might as well own it with a hippo. We are on our way to the Galleria for our very last ice skating lesson, which is bittersweet because I love it and I'm not ready to stop, but my foot is ready for a recovery break. And Kelsey was kind enough to volunteer, or be asked and said yes, to come and film for us. I'm actually really excited to see what progress we've made since starting this whole thing. Not gonna lie, it was pretty exciting to see that I was a whole lot faster than I was when I first started. I've also gotten way better at shifting my body weight to be able to do turns, which still kind of astounds me, and my swizzles are so much faster, I can actually propel myself with them now, versus kind of just getting stuck in the same spot and wondering why I'm not moving. This is huge progress. I still love doing dips. I've been able to get my feet closer together, and they're a little deeper than they were. I'm also really proud of Hobby. He normally struggles with any and all things that require flexibility, and he's actually been able to get pretty stinking deep with his dip, so good job, baby! My left leg is definitely the stronger one, so my right-sided scooter pushes are considerably better than the left, but I do feel like I'm making progress on both sides. I've been able to push a lot harder than I used to be able to without falling over. I just haven't gotten quite to the point where I can lift my leg up behind me yet, simply because I'm still working on my single leg glide. But it's progress, and I am really freaking happy with it. Altogether, it's actually made it so much easier to just switch and shift my weight to push myself forward. This is night and day difference from when we first started doing this.
Going up the escalator to get additional shots. Okay.
I was definitely pretty pooped at this point because we had done so many dips and it's basically like a permanent mini squat. But y'all, look at those 1-foot glides. I had to put a little compilation in because this is the most I've ever done in one setting. And overall, this is the longest I've been able to hold them up. One of the coolest things that I actually found out is that, as it turns out, I now can do them on the other side when I had never practiced that before at all. So every single one of these was a huge celebration to me.
Going down the escalator again. Going down the escalator again.
I can safely say that doing the rocking horses back and forth is now easy for me and also super fun. I did go a little bit too wild with them though, because when we finally did our backwards swizzles, my legs were basically toast. Oops.
Woo, going backwards. No, don't fall. Do not fall. But at least I would have caught it on video if you had.
We did practice our spins, but by that point I was completely exhausted and awful.
So yes, I am in no way, shape, or form an expert or really even a mid-level skater, but I have found 2 brand new hobbies that I love, and I am so glad that I finally decided to get out of my comfort zone and try them. Don't deprive yourself of an experience just because you got stuck in your own head like I did. I'm still so glad that I tried this even with those injuries, because honestly, you are never too old or too fat to try something new to enrich your life. Bye bye!